Hey guys, it's me, it's Queen Oseharu, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you have time, please drop us a positive comment in the comment section and give this video like the biggest thumbs up. So today we're going to do something fun. We're going to check out this deck. It's called the United States of Tarot by Elena Lee McComb. This I'm going to show you is the first edition of the deck. It was gifted to me by Elena, but the opinions are my own. Even though it was a gift to me, I'm not just going to tell you some BS because I like the gift. I love the gift, actually. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel about it. This particular version, the first edition, is $35 right now, and it's on sale at 15% off. The second edition is going to be $45 because it's going to come in a different box, a fancier box, and there are a few flaws in this deck that she has fixed in the second edition. So she's given us a bit of a discount on this deck, and I think it's worth it. I don't care about the flaws. You're going to see them. I do not care. I do not care. In the second edition, 3 cards are going to be changed. Judgment is going to have an angel who is African American. She said the High Priestess has a brand new card. And the 10 of Swords is going to be the Capitol riots of January 6, 2021 from what it currently is. It's currently a different image. She also said any problems are going to be fixed. Any of the design problems that you're going to see are going to be fixed. And there's going to be 2 bonus cards. One is going to be an extra justice card from Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And there's going to be an extra King of Cups. It's going to be Joe Biden. Now, I want to tell you guys, I adore this deck. I just adore it. And if you are somebody who believes in truth, who believes in justice, who believes in equality, somebody who believes in, people getting along, if you're a liberal, Democrat kind of energy, you will love this deck. It's all United States though. So if you're not a fan of the United States, then this definitely would not be one for you. But it has United States history, and it talks about a lot of the things that happened during the Trump administration. You guys all know I left the United States when Trump became president because I just wasn't putting up with it. And Elena created this beautiful deck as a way to productively deal with her feelings. And I do believe her husband helped her with it as well. As you can see, her information is on this card, so please pause it if you want her information. That is where you can contact her if you have questions, her email, her Instagram, and if you want to buy the deck, you can go to the website. This card here comes with the deck. This is her in this beautiful home. And I don't know if this card means anything. I want to ask her that because I would love to shuffle it in and see what it means when people get it. It also has this little white book, which is, standard little white book. And the little white book tells you everything that you may be wondering as far as who is who. There's a lot of people, Senator McCain and a lot of different people who are in this deck, and it tells you who they are in the guidebook. So let's get right to the point. I'm going to show you each and every beautiful card and tell you what I think of it. Starting from the Fool. Let's go to the beginning. Always got to start with the Fool. I love this so much. And like I said, depending on your political affiliation, I think that will determine how you feel. I'm trying to get the glare off so you guys can really see these good. Depending on your political affiliations, you may or may not like the deck. If you're somebody who is not liberal, more Republican centered, I would say, or somebody who just doesn't believe in justice, doesn't believe in the concepts in this deck, you're not going to like this deck. So definitely you want to take a look at it before you spend your money on it. I think it's amazing. I think she did a fabulous job. And I'm so happy to have this in my collection. It's definitely a collector's item, I would say. Some people that I talked to about this deck told me they didn't know if they would be able to read their clients with it, because apparently we have all kinds of different clients. Now, I talk to my clients. Look at Rasputin in the background. Love that. I talk to my clients online and on the phone, so I can pretty much use any deck. But if your clients are in person, I could see that being something that you would need to definitely consider. Rasputin was Aquarius, and I just did a video about him not too long ago, so I thought that was kind of cool. And you can tell, even though, you know, if you're an American, you can tell her political affiliations from looking at the deck, obviously. So I'm going to point that out immediately. Now, the other thing is that this is really a beautiful deck. I mean, if you look at the backgrounds, like just take away the whole political aspects of it. Look at the backgrounds. The backgrounds are amazing. She said that you will notice that Melania and certain people come up in the majors. And she said you're supposed to see them as the reverse or the shadow of that card. So Trump would be the shadow of the emperor, the reverse of the emperor, if you read reversals like I do. So again, the details, look at the money by his feet. I mean, these details tell it all. You know, it tells everything you need to know. Martin Luther King is the Hierophant. When I saw that, I was like, wow. Some of these brought me to tears, seriously. Some of these you're getting ready to say really touch me. Because, I mean, like, people in the United States, we all know, and I ain't gonna say we all know, many of us know that it's a lot of hardships with race, class, sex, gender, sexuality. And we're working through these issues, hopefully. This picture here has the lovers. They're an interracial couple. And there was a time in American history and in other people's history, and some people, it might even still be the case, where interracial relationships were illegal. Not just frowned upon, not just discouraged, illegal. So the cop is back there to arrest them because they've fallen in love. So it does critique a lot of the things that have happened in the past, things that are happening in the present. And look at this. This is like from the time, like maybe the 1800s. And you see a lot of that here. You're going to see a lot of I love history. I'm a history buff, and that's how I fell in love with this deck. So you're going to see a lot of American history and things that are happening in more contemporary times as well. I love it. I really like the backgrounds the most. The backgrounds are so beautiful. They just pulled me right in. Look at my boy Bernie. Everybody knows I love Bernie. I love him as the Hierophant, trying to lead the way, trying to shine that light. That's what it's all about. So, remember that show Wheel of Fortune with Vanna White and Pat Sajak? That's the first thing that came to my mind. Then you see alternative facts, which are basically lies, because facts are facts. They can't be alternative. But we did live through that. And she talked about the reverse. So he would be the reverse of justice. So that would be injustice. So if you read the guidebook, you'll see exactly what she's talking about in that sense. The Hanged Man. I love JFK. I loved listening to his story as a young girl. And this is a great depiction because this would have been where he was murdered. He was assassinated in that car. And if I'm not mistaken, that building behind him is the building the killer was in with the rifle. So one of the darkest days in American history. She has quite a few dark days in here. Look at that. When I saw that, I was like, if that isn't death, I don't know what is. You know how many lynchings occurred in the United States? Still occur. They're less likely to be labeled lynchings. I've noticed that law enforcement was a lot more honest about that in the past. So, yeah, very, very dark energy. Oh, she's beautiful. Look at the background. Look at the water. When Native Americans, they're the first Americans, and they kept this land. They kept that land. Well, I'm on Central American land, so they kept all these lands, really. But they kept them natural and beautiful, as you can see, depicted in this picture. And this is probably pretty much what it would have looked like during that time period before the Europeans came. And then everybody else came. And unfortunately, people like this came. And it has not been the same, as you can see throughout history. I love this. Isn't that cool? I love that. I was like, yeah. It matches the tower perfectly, you know? Like, this breakdown, you know? The star is really beautiful. That looks like the Titanic to me. And even though the Titanic never made it to New York, which is where the Statue of Liberty is, I thought the sky was gorgeous. And the concept of hope. If you were on the Titanic, especially when it sank and you were swimming around in the water waiting for somebody to come, that concept of hope was probably all that kept them alive, the ones that actually lived through it. The moon. Now, some of these people, I don't know who they are, so I don't know who he is. I would definitely have to look at the guidebook to see who this man is, but yeah, I don't know him. Don't you know him? I love the sun being a cute little baby. Children are always considered to be the hope of the future. And some of them do grow up to do just that. Now, this one, she mentioned changing. She said the angel is now an African-American angel, which I think is probably pretty cool. I have to call her and see, or email her and see if I can get the new cards. Maybe she'll let me buy them from her, because I would love to add those to the deck. I love that it's a Native American woman, because they all, you know, the indigenous people, they love the land and took care of it for a very long time. And they still love it. I still see Native Americans protesting and doing things to save the water and the land. You know, it's one of the best things, I think, that I see when I look at Native American culture is their connection to the land. This reminds me so much of Little House on the Prairie. I love, it's a bunch of these in a deck of like the prairie and, you know, that kind of concept. And it reminds me, oh, this is the back. I didn't show you guys the back. It's the White House. Let me turn it around. I don't watch his show, but if he's a Three of Cups, he must be humorous. Every once in a while, I see a clip on Facebook and they are very humorous. I must say I was glad to see him go. I was so glad to see him and his boss go. Abraham Lincoln. Well, good old Abe. He was also assassinated. He gave some really great speeches. And he's shrouded in a lot of mystery. People have a lot of speculations about him. Like, who was his mother? You know. But he is the one who was the president during the Civil War. And when the enslaved Africans were set free, it was because he signed the paper. And a while later, I think it was a long time later. I don't think it was like right away. I think it was like a year or so later. Everybody was, they say freed, but if you really read the history, it looked more like they went from enslavement to what they call sharecropping, a lot of the enslaved Africans. And to me, sharecropping was very much like being enslaved. You could come and go as you please, but it was not a pleasant way to live, unfortunately. Look at that moon. These backgrounds. Look at the fireworks. Yes. Give us fireworks and grandpop. Yes, Grandpa. I love that. The woman doesn't look happy, though. That's interesting. She looks tired. Maybe she's just a typical mom and she's just tired. Like, look, like I am happy, but I'm sleepy. So they're on the prairie as well, it looks like. Or maybe not. This might be the 1950s, I'm thinking, because look at their clothes. Yeah. I really like this card here because Michelle Obama loves George Bush. And every time I see them together, I think it's so cute. So, you know, I've kind of accepted George as being Michelle's buddy. And then there is his wife, the Queen of Cups. I don't really see George Bush as the King of Cups, but he does paint. And the King of Cups is very often an artist. So I guess I can go along with that. That's not bad. The Prince of Cups. Oh, and look at the princess. I got the biggest crush on Oprah. Everybody who knows me will tell you I have had a crush on Oprah since like the 80s. And her as the Princess of Cups is really cool. You can't see this one good, so I'm going to bring it closer to the camera. I don't know who he is, but he got a nice car and a big house. So he must be somebody. I'm going to have to look him up. Like, who's the guy with the big car and the big house? Now, this is Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'll be back. We all know Arnold when we see Arnold, and that is definitely Arnold. He's not that muscular anymore. He's an older man now. He's got to be like 60, 70 years old now. But there was a time when he was massive. And this is that time. He was massive. He probably, I don't know the story with the bear, but knowing him, he probably rustled it. If not, he could have. And he probably would have won. I don't know who he is either, but that waterfall is everything. And he must have been some type of photographer, I'm guessing. But that waterfall is everything. Now, him, I've seen on television. Don't know who he is. I listened like for 5 seconds, turned the channel. He didn't impress me, so I moved on. Not sure who he is, but if he's the Four of Pentacles, then he can keep it moving. Oh, wow. So this looks like a family that is down on their luck. Five of Pentacles, that's what it's about. Lack of resources, sadness even. Talk about a tired mom. Poor thing. This looks like, if I'm not mistaken, that's Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter does a lot of work with Habitat for Humanity, which is an organization that builds low income, or maybe, I don't know if it's low income housing, or they do some kind of housing. And he literally gets out there with a hammer and works. He's an older gentleman, and he's a very caring person. He was the president, and he's very well liked. This is Stephen King. He is definitely an icon from the United States. Everybody knows Stephen. This is my boy Tesla. Now, everybody doesn't know Tesla, but Tesla is famous for his inventions. He was around during the time of Thomas Edison. Him and Edison had a horrible relationship because Edison did Tesla dirty. And Tesla was a genius and was never really compensated, in my opinion, fully for his genius. And now there's a car called the Tesla, and if I'm not mistaken, it's like a car of the future, and everybody's talking about it. I don't know who she is, but this is a beautiful picture. This one is really cool. Look at this 10 of Pentacles. I saw that. I was like, that is gorgeous. That is the Kennedys. I'm guessing it was when somebody, maybe when it looks like it was when JFK married Jacqueline Kennedy. Now, as you can see, the cards are easy to shuffle. They're very glossy, so they're not going to be hard at all to shuffle. They're not a bad size. I can hold it fully in my hand. The only problem is that if you're the kind of person like me who takes pictures and videos of your cards, there is going to be quite the glare on them. But as you can see, you can get around it by moving the card around. I remember when Ronald Reagan, this is Ronald Reagan, I remember when he said that line, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall." I'm not really a Reagan fan, but I am a fan of that speech. Reagan, if you see in the background, Hollywood, Reagan was an actor, and he became the president of the United States. So I guess he was probably I think he was the first. His wife, who is the Queen of Pentacles, used to talk to psychics and get advice for the presidency. So I thought that was cool when I found that out. I was like, what? Nancy was down. This has got to be Trump's son. He looks like Trump's son. Look how he's holding that pentacle. He's holding that pentacle for dear life. And this is Trump's daughter. I don't remember her name, but I saw her so much during his presidency. Now, the one thing I have noticed about this deck is the borders. The borders are thicker. And she said there was some printing flaws. The borders are thicker on certain cards like this one than this one. So that's got to be one of the flaws that she was talking about. I noticed that too on Bill Clinton's card. We're going to come to that one. His border was the same way. It was thinner than the other ones. But as you can see, these mistakes with printing don't take away from the beauty, the background, the message. If you look at these and you don't see a very clear message, you don't want to. You just don't want to. Three of Swords, putting kids in cages, come on. Like, seriously. So, these are very, very good. Four of Swords. Looks like maybe the Civil War, Revolutionary War time, somewhere around there. And that's the nursing outfit they used to wear back then. This reminds me of Elliot Ness. That's giving me the American Mafia kind of vibe, you know. This is the card that made me fall in love with this deck. I saw that card. And my mother used to always call me Harriet Tubman when I was little, because I used to always be helping my friends and they would run away and I was always, you know, trying to help somebody. I was a trip. Aquarius, what can I say? And she always called me Harriet Tubman. And when I saw this card, and I thought Six of Swords, definitely. Harriet Tubman helped enslaved Africans escape. She escaped herself, and then she went back to the South time and time again. So you talk about Six of Swords. Talk about moving to better times. She helped hundreds of people move to better times. And at one point, they asked her, you know, about that time period. And she said, I freed hundreds of slaves, but I could have freed many more if they only knew that they were slaves. So she was saying that some people, you know, had gotten content, you know, with the concept that they couldn't get away. You know, it was hard to escape. You got killed for that. So some of them just was like, I wouldn't even say they were content. I think they kind of just gave up. So, wow. Now, this is one of the ones that she, I believe, changed. If that's the one, if that's the right one, this card here is going to change. Yeah, it's the Ten of Swords. It's going to change to a depiction of what happened at the Capitol building on January 6, 2021, which I think is very fitting. This card is good, though. This is great, but I think that's fitting as well. There is my boo. If he wasn't a married man, oh my God. I love Obama. I love Oprah and I love Obama. I love him. Sometimes I tease my friends and I'm like, one day Michelle going to run off with George Bush and I'm going to marry Obama. My friends always laugh because they know they know that wouldn't happen anyway, but they still think it's funny. I don't know who he is. but he got a snake by his foot, so that can't be good. I know her. She was the spokesperson for the Trump administration or something like that. And I never liked her. Didn't even get her name. Didn't like her energy. Look at her face. She just looks like a person with bad intentions. Ace of Wands is the NASA program. Yeah. Then we have the Wright brothers, who invented one of the first, or if not the first, airplane. I think this is Elon Musk, who was the person who I believe is responsible for the Tesla. If not, he is responsible for all kinds of things with modern technology. I hear his name all the time. I would have to look it up to make sure that's him, though. I love these two because when he was president, they used to always do memes of them. And they were so cute and so funny. I love their relationship. I saw one where they were making each other friendship bracelets, and I was like, oh, that is so cute. Can't have the United States of Tarot without George Washington, founding father. George had some shit with him, though. But we ain't gonna go there. Seven of Wands. I don't remember her name. I think it's Nancy something, but I remember her giving Trump hell. She was really one of the people that really fought him. Eight of Wands. I love how the wands are going up. I always prefer the wands up than going down. Seems to me to catch the energy of the card better. The Nine. He passed away. I think that's McCain, if I'm not mistaken. And look at him in the background when he was younger. Can you imagine? 10 of Wands. Can you imagine that that's your job? Talk about backbreaking work. Sheesh. See, and he's the King of Wands. Now, him, you can see his border is a little bit too small. And I don't know what Elena would think about this, but I swear he's the King of Cups. And George Bush would be the King of Wands. I think they should be switched. But I guess it really does believe on what you think about their personality, because George is an artist. Clinton's an artist too, though. But Clinton is more fiery. So maybe she was thinking about that. So I can definitely see that. He is more fiery. Fire energy to me is more, you know, flashy. Oh, look at my girl. Isn't she beautiful? Look at that. That sunflower and that sunset. Oh, God. I love Michelle. Michelle, run off with George Bush, honey. I'm still going to love you, though. I'm going to love you more. I remember him. He was a prick. I don't remember his name. I just remember him being a prick. And look at her. Gorgeous. Another gorgeous card. So, as you can see, I love this deck. I think it is gorgeous. I love everything about it. The card stock is good. These are going to last for a very long time. I love the colors. I love everything about this deck. The diversity is there. You have different ages. You have different races. You have different time periods. You have everything represented in this deck. I really, truly believe that this is a collector's item. And if you are somebody who likes United States history, or if you're somebody who thinks this is a fun deck, I recommend that you get it. And this is a great time while it's 15% off, or you can wait for the second edition, which is more money, but has all of the new features and everything that you've seen, all the printer mistakes corrected. So I want to thank Elena. I want to thank her for this gift of being able to review this deck. And I want her to thank her for creating this deck. She created this deck as a labor of love to help herself get through a hard situation. And I really love it. Thank you so much, Elena. All right, guys. Come back soon because I got more to say. Bye-bye.